Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Beanie, and before we start the video, I just want to say thank you for getting me to 500 subscribers. It is absolutely insane that I've gotten here this fast. I love you guys so much, and yeah, we're halfway to the Hosmer jersey whenever I hit 1,000. So if you want to enter that, please like, subscribe, and retweet this video from my Twitter at USMBaseball1, and yeah, let's get into the video. Alright guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to put together a dope-ass Battle Royale lineup, plus I'm going to throw in a little bit of gameplay tips for you guys, so you guys can really, you know, like once you have your team drafted, you can put a little bit of strategy in there just to give yourself the absolute best chance to go 12-0. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to talk about is drafting starting pitching, and you don't want good starting pitching. Everybody kind of knows this at this point, but what you want to do is you just want to fill out your entire team with a bunch of commons, if at all possible. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to take a bronze or two, but ideally you can fill out your rotation with 5 common players. And another important thing is to fill out that rotation ASAP. Fill it out to where you don't get to a point to where you have drafted your entire lineup, your entire bullpen, but you still have a gold or diamond round left. So the gold or diamond round comes around and all you have available to you is diamond or gold starting pitchers. That would be really, really bad for your draft overall. Next, I'm going to talk about the 5 keys to drafting a successful Battle Royale lineup. And the first thing is draft a balanced lineup. And I'm talking about handedness. Draft, in my opinion, it'd be great if you could get all switch hitters. That would be tremendous, but that's not really... that's not realistic. So what you want to try to do is, in my opinion, the ideal lineup would be about 5 righties, 2 lefties, and a switch hitter, plus your pitcher. The second thing that I want to talk about is you want to minimize your platoon hitters. Try to get guys who are just as good against righties as they are lefties, but you can't always do that. Sometimes you have to draft that guy that crushes right-handed pitching but sucks against lefties. And when you want to do that, that leads me into the third thing that I want to talk about, which is getting supplemental bench pieces. Whenever you're drafting your bench, you want to really focus on guys that play the same position as one of your platoon hitters, but hits the opposite-handed hittingness really well. If you drafted, let's say, Pedro Alvarez as your first baseman, well, and then the Billy Butler flashback card comes up who crushes left-handed pitching, you can get that Billy Butler card and you have your platoon for Pedro Alvarez if you need him. If they bring in a lefty to face Alvarez, you have Butler there just in case you need him, and you're not going to have any holes in your lineup if you follow that. And then the final tip that I want to talk about is drafting, you know, low overall players, your low bronzes or your common players. A lot of times you're going to get stuck where you have to take 1 or 2 bronze or common players to put on your bench. And what you really want to look for with those guys that look like they have absolutely no utility to very little utility, you want to look for that one particular tool that makes them stand out. If you have a 65 common who can't hit at all, has terrible defense, you know, he doesn't do anything great except he's really, really fast. Think like a Terrence Gore or somebody like that. And he's really fast and he has good stealing. If that guy's on your bench, you're going to get a little something out of him, because let's say you get a base hit in a late game situation where you really need a run. You get a base hit, you can plop him in there and he can be your pinch runner. And then you can maybe steal a base or 2, and that guy has provided utility to your team. When otherwise, if you get a guy who's just kind of bad at everything, there's probably not going to be many situations where you're going to want to call on him. Okay guys, and now we're going to talk about the bullpen a little bit. And I think there's a little bit of a misconception about the bullpen. A lot of people think that they need to fill out their entire bullpen with really great pitchers and have, like, you know, 7 silver or 6 silvers and a diamond, or 5 silvers and a gold. You really don't need to do that. The first tip is get good pitchers, but don't overkill. Don't go overboard. you're not going to get in many situations where you end up using more than 3, maybe 4 relievers in a game. That's probably going to be about as far as you go. Tip number 2 is to get a balanced bullpen. And ideally, you want to have 4 righties and 3 lefties, or maybe 4 lefties and 3 righties. Either one is fine, but it's really important to try to get at least 1 dominant lefty and 1 dominant righty, and then the next 1 or 2 pitchers that you get that you think are dominant in your head can be either one. They can be lefty or righty. Ideally, it'd probably be best to have 2 great righties and 2 great lefties, but you know, there's a little room to work with, at least as long as you have one or the other. And I've already talked about this a little bit, but the next tip is to look for those beast bronze cards. You know, the Jake Diekmans of the world. Those guys can really, if you draft one of those guys, they're going to do just as good as a lot of golds and a lot of diamonds, and maybe even better. If they have the things that matter, if they do them really well, they're gonna be really effective for you, and you're gonna really have a good time because you can allocate a lot of those resources that you would have spent on that gold or diamond reliever. You can put that in your lineup and have your lineup be better than it normally would. And then the last thing is really look at pitch selection. Because since you're playing on All-Star, a guy that only has a 4-seam and a slider might not be as effective as a guy that has, like Chapman, who has the 4-seam, the slider, and the changeup. That changeup, man, I'm telling you, it can be a game changer because it makes the fastball look faster. It keeps hitters honest. Also look for guys that have sinkers. Sinkers can be really tough to hit. I would favor the slider over the curveball. Just look for things like that that may give a guy an edge and may convince you to pick him up over a guy that doesn't have those types of pitches. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for the draft strategy, and now I kind of want to talk about the gameplay strategy. And the first tip for gameplay is, as soon as the game starts, go and warm up your best righty and your best lefty reliever. Immediately go and warm them up, and then immediately do a mound visit if you're the home team. Don't wait until you're the pitcher if you're the away team or anything like that. Don't wait. As soon as the game starts, go to your bullpen and start warming those guys up. And if you're the home team, do a mound visit. You can't do it from the main menu anymore. You have to go and you have to press up whenever you're like in the gameplay to bring up the quick menu, and then it'll let you do a mound visit from there. And the second tip is a little bit general, but it's just be situational. Know your situations. If you have a runner, because remember, in Battle Royale, 1 and 2 runs can be the difference most of the time. If you score 1 run in Battle Royale, a lot of times that's going to be enough to get it done for you. So don't be afraid to give up outs in order to get runs. If you have a guy on first and second with nobody out, don't be afraid to bunt those guys over or to do a hit and run or something like that. Something to give you an edge. And also, you know, if you've gotten 2 quick outs in the first inning, and they have that big 99 George Brett card coming up, but then they have a card that's maybe like Eduardo Nunez, who is good, but he's not scary, coming up after him. Maybe walk that George Brett card and pitch to the guy that you're more confident in facing. Because, you know, like I said, in BR, 1 swing of the bat can make the difference, and I would much rather have Eduardo Nunez swinging that bat instead of George Brett. Number 3 is utilize your shifts. This is something that I don't see many people doing at all, but it's a lot harder to bunt against this shift in this game. It's a lot harder to beat it in general. So if you have lefties or even righties that favor one side or the other, that are really pull heavy or whatever, don't be afraid to shift your defense in order to play into that hitter's strengths, because you'll take away a lot of outs doing that, and just be mindful of the situations and what's going on, who's up at the plate, and really use that to your advantage, because I promise you it'll give you a big edge versus your opponents, because 99% of the people who are playing this game are not doing stuff like that. The fourth gameplay tip is to be patient. A lot of people feel like they need to go out and chase runs because it's a 3-inning game and you do have to get runs quickly in order to win. But that makes a lot of people antsy, and they start swinging at pitches that they wouldn't normally swing at because they feel like they have to hit a home run on that next pitch or it's not going to happen. Don't be that way. Be patient. Make the pitcher throw you a strike. Make the pitcher throw you a good strike. Don't be afraid to take bad strikes. Get the pitch you want and then hit it, and don't be afraid to take a walk. If you get a walk and the player is fast that you just got the walk to, you can steal second, bunt that guy over, get